Yo ho ho! It is Sunday morning. It is episode 166, and you, my friends, are listening to an episode of the Motivated Entrepreneurs Podcast. If you can leave a rating and review, do you know what? God bless you, my child. I will really, really appreciate it. Right, okay, so challenge of the week today. These are short, sharp episodes, and this comes from Dr. Ivan Joseph. He's a sports psychologist and a high-performance coach. He's the man. He's bringing a book out called You Got This. And I love that. Because that's something that my mantra, you got this. And I was listening to him on a podcast, and it was an amazing podcast. I took so many bloody notes. You're probably going to hear a lot from him. In fact, I believe, I'm just checking now, I believe we have got an episode coming up on Thursday and Friday. 2 episodes next week are going to be talking about what the Dr. Ivan has said in his podcast. So really good takeaways. Anyway, get on with it. So self-confidence. How do you improve self-confidence? We all suffer from self-confidence and not feeling like we're good enough. I don't care who you are. I do. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely suffer from the self-confidence issue. You believe it or not, I really genuinely do. And a lot of, I don't want to say all of us, because maybe you don't, but a lot of us do. And so what Dr. Ivan Joseph said is that what you should do is write yourself a letter. Now, this letter is called the self-confidence letter. And what you do in this letter, you talk about what you're good at, and by the way, this isn't a time where you start being bashful and say, oh, you know what, I'm not really good. Stop it. I'm not that good. Stop. No, this is where you embrace it. This is where you own what you're good at. Every single person listening to this right now is good at something. You're kind, you're caring, you're considerate, you do things for other people. What I want you to do is write a letter to yourself, a self-confidence letter. And you know what? You can be as braggy as you like. You talk about your achievements, talk about the things you've done, talk about how caring you are, talk about stuff that makes you feel proud and proud of yourself, because that stuff matters. And you don't have to show this letter to anybody else. But every now and again, we all need a self-confidence hug. And the idea is this letter will embrace you when you need it, at the times you need it. You can bring out this self-confidence letter every day if you need to. Dr. Ivan Joseph actually said that he brought out his self-confidence letter every single day for 2 weeks solid when he started a new job. And by the way, this guy is super, super qualified, but even he was nervous, apprehensive, and didn't feel confident in his role. So before he went to work every day, he had to pull out this letter that he wrote to himself, and he had to read it. He had to embrace it. He had to feel it to make him more confident and know that he was in the right place and know that he wasn't there. That the people who hired him wasn't incorrect, that he belonged there and he was justified in having that job. And so we all need that hug from time to time. So what I want you to do, I want you to pull out a bit of paper or use your iPhone, whatever it may be, get your notes out and start writing to yourself. Start writing the things you've done good, what you're proud of yourself, how considerate you are, how caring you are, the things that you have done that lit somebody else up, that made somebody else feel special. Talk about the things you're good at. Talk about your achievements. Talk about the things you did at school. Anything and everything. Put them down in this letter. And what I'm going to do is literally list out all the things I feel. And you know what? I often go off in tangents, but it's often overlooked. I never think about this. But during this, I've got to be careful because I'm not saying this to, oh yeah, you're so good, because I genuinely don't believe that. And I was an NHS volunteer. I pay for 2 families' meals, and I deliver them every single Saturday. An old person, two old, basic, not 2 old people. One family, and who's not old, and another family. Both are shielding. It's an elderly family who are shielding, and one not normal, but in the 50s, who's shielding as well, because they're vulnerable during the COVID-19. They couldn't go out, so I've had to buy them food. And so I place the order, I go and get the food, and I deliver it to both people. In Hull, it takes me around about 2.5 hours to 3 hours every single Saturday to do this, to organise the food, and then we've got to ring them up, get the order, place the order. And I don't give myself enough gratitude. I don't congratulate myself enough. And that's where we should congratulate ourselves. That's a really nice thing to do. And I know there's things in your life that you do that you overlook. And so you need to make a mental note of these. Just take a week, just every single day, jot down something that you do that you've remembered. And when you are more conscious about this behavior and start looking at the good things you do, I promise you that will increase your confidence without anything else. But then jotting it down on paper, actually writing it down, and then actually taking all the list of the things you do and then writing it in a letter format so that you can read it when you need it. It's always there. It's a self-confident hug, a self-confidence hug. Embrace it, feel it, live it, love it, because I promise you, this will really, really work. Even just talking about that now, I feel a bit embarrassed about saying what I've done. But it's made me feel good. I'm thinking, yeah, actually, you are a good person. You are a decent person. And it's making me feel good. So what I want you to do, I want you to do the same. I want you to look at the things you do. Everything I've mentioned, list them all down and then write a letter to yourself and then read it when you need to. If it's twice a day, 3 times a day, do it. Because I promise you, it will enhance your self-confidence. Okay, tomorrow, my friends, what are we talking about? We are talking about, we're going into a little bit more detail about the dip. For book review I did yesterday, Seth Godin's book, there was a big takeaway that I've got, and I'm going to go into it more tomorrow. This has already been 7 minutes, and it was supposed to be 2 minutes. I just, verbal diarrhea. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and I promise you it'll be under 5 minutes. All right, dudes, dudettes, have a wonderful day. Remember, you got this.